Excuse me, do you know why we pulled you over today? Exactly, it's because you're not subscribed. So you better fix that right now, or we're gonna have to take you in. We have our friend German, or Germungus Galactus. He's getting into the news because he's gonna get involved as well. Germungus Galactus is talking about the iPad Pro, and I'm definitely concerned that we are leaking. The leakers are leaking so many things that I feel like people are getting overly excited about what is going to happen, because the year is like, we're in March right now, right? So we already had one Apple event. We might get 3 or max 4 more Apple events. I'm not sure if they're going to do 4 more Apple events, because like last time they did a Apple event just for the iPad and the Apple Watch. I feel like a lot of people found that to be underwhelming. So I would say that there are probably going to be 3 more Apple events. So WWDC, and then you have like the iPhone event at the end of the year, and then the Apple Silicon Mac event somewhere later down the line. So where's the iPad Pro going to be released? Because like, if it's all going to be WWDC, that's mental. It's absolutely mental. But he says it's going to launch this fall. Okay. Okay, cool. I mean, it sounds interesting. German, let's go. Yeah, let's go. So it sounds interesting. Let's see what he has to say. This fall, it sounds crazy. It sounds like a lot.
German, iPad Pro with M2 chip and MagSafe charging likely to launch in fall 2022. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman expects next-generation iPad Pro models to launch in the fall of this year, according to his latest newsletter. In his Power On newsletter, Gurman speculated that since Apple did not launch new iPad Pros this month at its peak performance event, it is reasonable to now expect new models to arrive between September and November this year. In a previous report, Gurman said that Apple was planning the wildest array of new hardware products in its history for the fall of 2022, and this selection of new releases now looks increasingly likely to include updated iPad Pro models.
But that's kind of mental, because that means that we're going to get... A lot of the other rumors are suggesting that we're going to get a Mac Pro on WWDC, with probably an upgraded Pro Display XDR, right? Because like the Mac Pro market wants that XDR experience. Probably 120 Hz refresh rate and whatever. Some other people are suggesting that on top of that we also get a MacBook Air 13-inch, which is crazy, which is absolutely mental. With M2, and then the same M2 chip is going to get into the iPad Pro later that fall. Maybe even announced at WWDC as well. That's crazy. That's a lot of hardware. I'm not sure. It feels like too much. Especially if we're talking about coverage from YouTubers, from media. It's too much. You saw it with the iPhone SE and the Mac Studio and the Studio Display. A lot of YouTubers opted out of even covering some of these devices, and the iPad Air as well, right? So a lot of YouTubers opted out of covering these devices. I feel like it's less than ideal. It's not as how do you say that? It's not as cool as getting these things more spread out of the year. Obviously I want them, but I'm just talking about like the wow factor, right? If you have just one event with so much hardware, it's crazy, it's cool, and it's an awesome event, but I feel like it gets like, all these products are gonna overshadow each other at some point in the coverage, and I feel like that's less cool. Anyways.
In a previous report, Gurman said that Apple was planning the wildest array of new hardware. As the Mac Rumors Buyer's Guide shows, new iPad Pro models have launched in March 2016, June 2017, October 2018, March 2020, and April 2021, meaning that Apple seems to take between 13 and 16 months to update the product line. Gurman's expectation seems to suggest a longer time frame for the iPad Pro this year, postulating that its launch could be up to 19 months after the release of the current model. This also means that the current 2021 iPad Pros could be among the longest-lasting models to date. There have been few rumors about the next-generation iPad Pro in recent months, but Gurman affirmed that he expects the new iPad Pro models to feature MagSafe charging, as well as the M2 chip. The M2 chip is expected to have the same 8-core CPU as the M1, but will benefit from speed and efficiency improvements thanks to TSMC's 4nm process. It is also rumored to have additional GPU cores, with 9 and 10-core GPU options, up from the 7 and 8-core GPU options in the M1 chip.
Which is kind of wild, because if it is actually based on the A15 chip, like people say that the M1 is based on the A14 chip, the A15 already had a bump in GPU performance, so that's kind of wild, that's kind of crazy. Anyways, true and real, yeah, same to, yeah, okay. Can't believe M1 iPad Pro in zone of attack and his new insane by himself created benchmark test. I heard about that, he tweeted about that, and that's kind of crazy. Vadim was talking about it as well, that's a lot of work. Did he do that for the iPad Pro? You can see how it's slapping the Tab S8 Ultra and any other tablet right now. Oh, okay, cool. Let's fucking see this. Yeah, it's in the hand. You got what you want now, yeah? I thought you guys were serious, dude. Tricked fam? Yeah. 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 I literally thought, because like Zone of Tech actually made this benchmark test, which is really insane. I saw this video about the MacBook Pro versus the Mac Studio. It's absolutely insane. Like, he makes insanely good videos, and that must have been so much work to create that. So I actually thought you guys were serious, but this is why you don't trust chat. Lesson learned. Straight up a copyright strike? Yeah, probably. Probably, yeah. Anyways.